Hi, I'm Emirhakin. I'm a performance artist from Turkey and I'm living in Netherlands. My practice is mainly about the darkest corners of the human psyche and the effects of contemporary politics on it. I am mainly interested in the arbitrariness of life. That's why my work consists of the archetypical facts of religion, sexual systems, and overall power structures. My practice consists of performance, writing, video, and installation. And I'm mainly interested in the negotiation between audience and the performer, and the space and time, and how we can tackle them down, as in the terms of queer temporalities.
And I'm ghenwa Noire, Abou Fayad, and I come from Lebanon. I'm a cross-disciplinary artist and I work with different mediums, including music making, followed with storytelling and illustrations, but I'm also a workshop facilitator. So a lot of my work goes around understanding the environment that I am in, but also working with it, be it with participants, with the audience, or whoever I am engaged with. And I'm very much interested in the oral history, in the gossip, and like the personal memory. And it goes in the notion of understanding the self, the notion of the self. And through that, I sometimes work on projects on my own, or I do a lot of collaborations to also understand myself through the other.
Maybe we can tell you in 4 words, which would go with resistance,
Immigration, the transition in between, yeah,
and its manifestation on a performative level. Thus, the queer bodies as we have.
Yeah, yeah, and also how we move in between, or try to navigate and to be or exist, or it's a constant research.
It's a constant research, it's a constant questionnaire about the choreographies of our colloquial movements, what it means for us to be in a space as 2 queer artists, what it takes to create something, what it takes to redefine the pre-existent constructions. And every time as we arrive to a space, we are facing the same or similar structures. That's why we're also calling our work tekrar.
Tekrar, which is in the form of repetition, or like again and again, or maratan ukhra. It's like, yeah, this vicious loops or repetitions that one has to endure, yeah, for sure. Endure and deal with. Yeah, and it's also a lot of how such stages lets you feel that you're alone in a lot of the processes, even though you are not, but it's a very difficult process to navigate when you are alone or not, or like, are you gonna get support, etc. Like, yeah, something like this, I would say. I would say we would work a lot with intuition together. There's a lot of trust.
Exactly.
So the method is actually to find ways to navigate and to reflect on our processes and to share them. A lot of communication, there's a friendship involved, how we keep in touch, and how to, like, through our engagement, it's a reminder that we are not alone in this. So it's a good way of saying, okay, if we're in this together, what is happening, and how can we possibly overcome it, or maybe not? Yeah.
I think something to add to this is that we also both studied, both of our backgrounds are visual communication design, and that is surfacing surprisingly in a beautiful way in our works. That also feeds the trust that ghenwa was talking about. On a material level, when we started thinking about this residency, we both brought one idea of a material. Mine was the elastic bands, and their material was the microphone, which you can attach to the body. And I think now I'm thinking that since the elastic bands are representing the resistance, but also the strength, and their material as this, how do you call them? Piezo microphones?
The piezo microphones, yeah.
Like to understand the seismic activity on the body, how the queer bodies are choreographing and moving. How can we really capture the real sound beneath the surface?
Yeah, and it also, this like reminds me of like when we talked about like what is resistance bands, or like there's the ones that are used in the gym, for example, like for pure like physical endurance, or like strength, but also the ones that we used as child, either to play with them in our hands, you know, to make a lot of shapes, or like the one that engages two individuals to hold them with their feet, and one is jumping in between the lines. So it's like the idea of like the elastic bands jumping between the lines, the muscle memory that in which we carry all of this weight with us from where we come from, and being both of us in the Netherlands for the past few years, and the in-betweens of all of this.
This is our second major collaboration, I would say, and then on the surface level, audience might experience something intense or heavy, but the main idea, as ghenwa also articulated, is coming from the gamification of this trajectory of this playfulness. So from my end, I would like the audience to understand from what perspective we are approaching to these notions we are talking about, not from a self-victimizing, yet not a survival, but it's kind of like this thinly stretched elastic band, you know, the main point of it, where you can really see the reality, the honesty. And I think this is what I really appreciate with my collaboration with ghenwa, the honesty we are always cultivating back and again and again.
I mean, if part of the audience has already lived this type of experience, hopefully they relate to it. And if they didn't, then maybe there's something to reflect upon.
For me, the turning point was understanding again how much different collaboration than cooperation, because as ghenwa said before, we also have a friendship in a relation-wise. So it took me a while to arrive here mentally, but when I saw again how capable they are, not on a production level, but also on the notion of holding space for each other's emotions and honesty, I just realized that this is way beyond than cooperation, but it's also a collaboration on many more senses. So this is what I realized, and this was my turning point. The trust gained again and again. Tekrar.
Yeah. From my side, I see it, maybe I don't see it yet as a turning point in the sense that I think it's a constant. And because there's a constant way of feeling, sharing stories, experiences from people around us, friends, community, you name it. And when you feel it's a constant, then it becomes the urge. So yeah, it's then the urge of just communicating something about it. And yeah, I don't know what the turning point will be from this perspective specifically. I think the next step for me is just to continue doing what we are doing, to just keep the collaboration, keep the friendship, keep evolving whatever we have developed and worked on at within this residency. Like, we did have the idea in our head of what is it that we want to work on, but everything was developed here in terms of what we are actually doing physically in the space and sonically. And now the performance is space-based. And then, I'm curious to see how it's going to manifest in other shapes and forms in the future and develop, and to a bigger work, hopefully.